So when I'm going to make a weapon for myself for the game, I generally come over here, I'll go straight in, and I'll select the weapon I want. So I've heard the M13 is pretty good this season, so we'll grab that bad boy. And I'll go straight in the firing range raw. No attachments. Actually, that's a lie. I do put attachments on it. I go straight to magazine because I'm generally going to run this with a magazine on it. So I'll probably put a 60 round. Researcher could probably run 45, but I'll run a 60 round. And I'm not going to use this with the iron sights because I'm not a big fan of the iron sights. So I'll chuck an optic on here. And I'm a big fan of the Cronin Precision or AMOP. But for this one, I'll probably go the Cronin Mini Pro because I'm going to be playing research. So I may as well tune this one. When it comes to the tuning of the sight, I always go the furthest to close. Far. Not close. Far. Sorry. My mistake. And then I'll come down, and for flinch resistance to aim down sight speed, I generally aim towards aim down sight. And I just watch them as they go out and back in, and I try and find the sweet spot where they're both kind of out before they come in too drastically. They're right around there. So 174 is a good spot for me that I find. Right, then I go to the firing range. I get up. Oh, God. I've already done this with another weapon today. So that's why all this stuff's on the wall. So I get here and I shoot it with no attachments. And as you can see, it's atrocious. So I get straight out. And then I chuck some attachments on here. So I don't know what the fire rate of this thing is, but I'd probably like some bullet velocity. I'm a big fan of the FTAC Ripper, so that takes out aim idle stability and recoil stabilization. I won't put that on yet so I can show you guys what it does actually. And I normally come over and I always go to, so that thing had a lot of horizontal recoil control, recoil and vertical recoil, but it had a lot of horizontal jump. So when you're looking at the attachments, you want to pick one that has horizontal on the top when it's got a lot of horizontal jump, and secondary would be vertical because it goes up a fair bit, this weapon. So I normally go one that has horizontal then vertical recoil, and it's either the FTAC Castle Comp or the X10 Havoc 90, I think. Yep, that's it. So either one of these, they're both pretty much the same. You chuck that on. Same thing when it comes to tuning, but because this will be a longer range weapon, I'll go towards recoil control. And we just find the sweet spot about there. And aim idle stability. See how that comes back? The recoil jumps back drastically there. So we find the sweet spot just about there. And then we test that out. I didn't do any tuning with that, so probably prefer with the recoil control and probably steadiness. You don't lose that much. So see how you lose a bit of range there? Probably put that about there. And we'll see how that thing fires. Oh, it's still got a fair bit of horizontal, as you can see, side to side. And it doesn't go quite as far. It shot all the way up there last time, whereas it's only going to there now. And I'll show you what the FTAC Ripper actually does, why I think it's the best sight in the game. When you go on someone, now the sight moves pretty quick and drastically all around that guy's chest. When you put the Ripper on, not only do you get that recoil control, but you also get a lot of aim idle stability. When you're just free aiming without shooting, controls that a lot more. The same thing with this, we kind of find the sweet. This doesn't really have a sweet spot. It's like probably could go max for this one. So we'll chuck that at max. It's also aiming in really slow, which wouldn't be good for research, but let's try this out. As you can see, the FTAC Ripper has taken away that horizontal bounce that this side had, where it's kind of all over the place. More consistent and slowly going up compared to this jagged side to side, which over a long distance can make a big difference. Doesn't really take out any vertical, And if we go down to here, see the idle sway is pretty much gone and it's a lot slower and it's just sitting in that one spot. And that's why I prefer the F-Tac Ripper. You want to test out different attachments, you can definitely do that. Like I try and find out what people are using, what attachments people think, and I'll just change out that one attachment. So say I want to try out, everyone raves on about the lock grip precision. I do the same thing with this. You don't really have tuning for this one. You've got the aim down sight speed you can chuck on here. You got the firing range, and I normally just get up on the door here and compare it next start, the one with the F-Tac Ripper. And we're probably very close. It's almost identical. I think it does take out a bit more horizontal, the lock precision, but I don't know about the aim idle stability on this one. See, this one moves a bit more, a lot more with that aim idle stability, and the dot moves around the screen a lot more. So it's all up to personal preference really for that one. I probably might stick to the lock grip precision. It does seem like it gets a bit more of that horizontal bounce out. But yeah, that's how I figure out what weapons I'm going to use. If I'm going to test attachments, I normally just change one at a time, do this. Another thing we can do, because the aim down sight speed is so slow and we're going into resurge, which isn't great distances, we can probably take off the high velocity, and I'd chuck a laser on this one. The VLK LZR 7 milliwatts, always a good choice. You've got that aim down sight speed, aim stability, and sprint to fire speed. And now you can tune your lasers. So we'll do the same thing. Aim walking steamness or sprint to fire. I'll probably go sprint to fire just if you get caught off guard with your main weapon out, and then I'd probably aim towards aim down sight speed, especially for a laser. And as you can see, this one comes out and then the accuracy comes back out again, so you may as well go all the way minus 51 for this one. And if we take that to the firing range, see, that's a lot quicker aim down sight speed, and this laser doesn't affect our recoil control, as you can see, but you can still beam people, and the aim down sight is a lot quicker, which is pretty good. If you run out of door space as well, just a hot tip, you can back out of the game completely. Go back to the title screen, the Call of Duty. When you log back into the firing range, when you go back here, the door will be empty and you can start again. Yeah, that's how I set up my weapons, figure out what attachments I'm going to use with my weapons, and we'll figure out the tuning and stuff. We'll get into some matches now. How about that? Oh my God, what is that? I might give this... I've got an extra arm. What is going on? That's an arm, eh? Jesus. What is that? There's a giant dildo above me. You see this? Look at this. Look at that. There's a dildo on my screen. What is that? Yeah. Cheers for watching.